Good morning, good morning. You are live with TST Radio. I'm your host, Marcus Johnson. Thank you for tuning in today. Today is October 13th. So we're going to get into the show. We're going to start in Miami with the Heat. Miami Heat will officially delay waiving Chris Bosh so that he is not eligible to play in the playoffs for another team. That is totally wrong. I don't agree with that. That is very, very conniving for them to try to do that just in case the guy gets healthy and wants to come back. Because I did see reports saying that he wasn't ready to give up on the NBA. So for them to try and pull something like that is totally wrong. You're halfway. This man wants to come back and play. You know he hasn't been able to play for a minute now due to he was having blood clots. So medical issues, he hasn't been able to play. So why would you take that from him to benefit yourself? That's just selfish. That is selfish of Pat Riley. That is so selfish. Because why would you hurt someone to benefit yourself? I know it's business, but the guy right now can't play. He can't play. But he could be eligible farther along down the line in the season and probably could be free agent, get picked up by another team around playoffs time or after All-Star weekend and be eligible to play. But you are going to delay his waiving so he can't be eligible to play for someone. That's crazy. Moving on. New Orleans Pelicans, big man Anthony Davis exited a preseason game with a sprained ankle. Davis played 3 games this preseason, averaged 16 points, 4.7 rebounds, 1.7 assists, with 17.8 minutes per game. He's expected to be out 10 to 15 days. He was diagnosed with a grade 2 ankle sprain. I've never heard of people grading ankle sprains. I've heard a high ankle sprain, low ankle sprain, but I've never heard of a grade 2 ankle sprain. So that must be very, 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 very severe. They had pictures up also on social media that he was in a boot leaving the game. So he's probably going to need some time. Like I said, going to be about 10 to 15 days to treat that. Probably get some ice on it, ibuprofen, get the soreness out of it. And he'll probably be back on the court in no time. I also sticking to basketball, but we're going to shift over to college basketball. I have the preseason men's all SWAC basketball teams. I'm going to give you the first team here. You know you're going to have to go on my social media sites, True Sports Talk Radio on Facebook, True Sports Talk on Twitter, and you can see the first team and the second team. Today I'm going to give you the first team, and I'm going to give you the predicted finishing orders of this year's SWAC conference in college basketball. Here we go. First team, we have leading the team. We have sophomore Derek Griffin. He's a center, plays for Texas Southern University. He's SWAC Player of the Year of last year. He had an awesome season on last year. He's coming in as supporting cast on the first team, the first preseason all SWAC basketball team. First team. So sophomore Derek Griffin, guard Paris Collins from Jackson State, guard Marcus Roman from Mississippi Valley State, forward Tony Armstrong from Alabama State, and forward Chance Franklin from Jackson State. That's your first team all SWAC basketball preseason team. That's that right there. The predicting order to finish. The committee, I'm guessing, of the SWAC voted on this and put a list together saying with determining from last year, the finishing of last year, the people that's returning, plus recruits that has came in is determine this list. So without further ado, here we go. The prediction finishing order of the SWAC basketball conference. At number 1, Texas Southern University is predicted to finish 1. Jackson State is predicted to finish 2. Southern is predicted to finish 3. Alabama State is predicted to finish 4. Alcorn State is expected to finish 5. Prairie View A&M 6. Mississippi Valley State 7. Alabama A&M 8. Arkansas Pine Bluff 9. Grambling State 10. So that's your order that they're predicted to finish in. Not saying that that's actually going to happen. I'm going to try my best this year to cover Alabama State basketball. So, this is my first year starting off my radio talk show or whatever. So that's going to be my first year covering basketball. I'm going to try to cover Alabama State's basketball this year. Shout out to my guy, Terrence LaFleur. Hopefully he have a great season this year. Stay healthy and have a great season. I will be there to cover his season this year. Moving on. Alabama injury updates out of Tuscaloosa. Alphonse Taylor wasn't seen at practice yesterday. I reported day before yesterday that Alphonse Taylor suffered a concussion in the Arkansas game. He and Reuben Foster suffered concussions in the Arkansas game. Like I said, Alphonse Taylor wasn't seen at practice yesterday. Reuben Foster was seen at practice, full pads, but he did have a black non-contact jersey on. So he wasn't really participating in contact activities. He was seen doing footwork drills, that type of thing, warm-up drills, so maybe, I always report Wednesdays, if you're not practicing full gear, full speed on Wednesdays, it's most doubtfully to see you on Saturday. So Alphonse Taylor might not be seen on Saturday. Depends on today's practice. I will report that whenever we get the report saying that he was at practice. Normally, if you don't, like I said, normally on Wednesdays, if you don't practice, you don't play on Saturdays. Reuben Foster, like I said, he was participating in practice, so I'm subjecting him to play on Saturday. We will need him on Saturday at the inside linebacker. We have Jalen Hurd at the running back for Tennessee. Kamara has showed what he can do on last week. So they are really establishing a two-back system over there at Tennessee. This will be the first game that both are healthy, that we will see them play together. We will see how we really haven't seen them with that rotation. So we will most likely see that rotation on this weekend. So we will need Reuben Foster there to stop that run. Our defensive line is going to do that thing, but we do need Reuben Foster there for the run support coming out the backfield. Like I said, Jalen Hurts, Kamara, they're two great talents. So we will need Reuben Foster there. Moving on. Notre Dame fans are calling for Brian Kelly to be fired after the loss to NC State. That game was affected by the storm Hurricane Matthew. It was drenched. It was raining. It was a very, very sloppy game. Those are things that you can't help. That's Mother Nature. But what I think people are saying could have helped Notre Dame come out on top. To me, from watching that game, they should abandon the pass game due to the weather conditions. They should have, not saying abandon it, but maybe hit some slants here and there, some hitch routes. But you come out and throw the ball in hurricane weather. You should have been pounding the football all game. You should have been pounding the football. The game plan should have been switched, and you should have pounded the football. You only accumulated 59 yards rushing in that game, which should have been more. Kaiser finished 9 for 26 for 54 yards, 1 interception. Why did you throw the ball 26 times? I think that's what Notre Dame fans, those are the questions they're asking. And they want answers. And, well, I don't even think they want answers. They want Brian Kelly out. They want him out. You have two great quarterbacks, Kaiser and, what's the other guy? I can't think of the other guy's name right now. You have Deshaun Kaiser and the other quarterback. You have two great quarterbacks, but that's not the factor in this game. Game planning was the factor in this game. That game was decided by a block punt, scored for a touchdown, Notre Dame lost. So the fan base is calling for him to be fired. We will see how that be played out for the rest of the season going into these next couple runs. Moving on. Other news out of the college football world, ex-Baylor head coach Art Blyles is back in the headlines. He was added to a lawsuit saying that a woman reported a sexual assault and he ignored it. The sexual assault was reported that an ex-football player that played under Coach Art Blyles was the alleged that committed the sexual assault. So he's back under fire. He and the athletic director was added to this lawsuit. So we will see how that be played out. Art Blyle's name was brought up in maybe the LSU coaching job, maybe an offensive coordinator there, maybe head coach. He was brought up maybe if Gus was fired over at Auburn. But with all this going on, I don't think a university right now needs that distraction. I don't think they will invite that distraction. So I don't think he will be looked at a job that kills his chances of. I don't think he had a high chance of really getting a coaching job right now, but that kind of pushed him back some more. So moving on, UFC. Former middleweight champion, Chris Weidman. He wanted to weigh in on the Dan Henderson and Michael Bisping fight on last weekend. Dan Henderson lost that match to Michael Bisping, which was his last fight in the UFC, he reported. Chris Weidman felt like Dan Henderson won that fight easily. He felt like he controlled the match. Felt like he beat him by points. The match was decided by decision. Chris Weidman, I saw Dana White. A lot of people felt like Dan Henderson won this fight. But Michael Bisping weighed in on Chris Weidman's comments by saying, he said that Chris Weidman preaches about God, this and that. He needs to shut the F up. He's not part of God's plan. If there is a God, he got bigger fish to fry than worry about Chris Weidman's fights. Michael Bisping took some hard stabs at Chris Weidman. He was questioning his religion. He was questioning his manhood. He really shot back at Chris Weidman. So maybe we will see Chris Weidman versus Michael Bisping pretty soon with this little rivalry back and forth thing going on. And that would be a great fight to see. I would love to see that. So Dana White, you might want to look into getting that fight together pretty soon. Moving on. News out of Los Angeles with the Lakers. The Lakers made their first cut going in. The season is fastly approaching. We're in the preseason right now. The Lakers have made their first set of cuts / waves. Zach Augustine, he made the cut. Well, he didn't make the cut. He was cut. Julian Jacobs and Travis Ware was also cut. this really wasn't a big surprise if you follow Los Angeles Lakers basketball. This wasn't really a big surprise. Neither of the guys really got playing time during summer leagues nor or the preseason. I think Jacobs and Ware has played one game apiece in the preseason. Zach Augustine was seen riding the bench during summer league. So that wasn't a big surprise if you follow Lakers basketball. So those three was the first three cuts from the Los Angeles Lakers. Moving on, Jets has signed former quarterback Nick Marshall of the Auburn Tigers. You know, he came into he wasn't drafted, I don't think. He was signed to the Jaguars. He started one game, played 13. He got a total of 13 tackles. So he made the most of his opportunities so far. He was moved to the practice squad after a while at Jacksonville, but he's signed to the Jets. Maybe he can play a pretty good role as a backup. You know, he will be backing up Reeves over there. So that would be it might be a great fit for him. He has some great leaders to follow and watch, and maybe he can prosper into being a great defensive back in the NFL. Moving on to a little boxing. Adrian Bonner the other day posted on social media that he was considering committing suicide. He also posted the weapon, a gun that he said he was going to use to kill himself. Close friends and family saw the social media post, immediately called the police, asking them to go to Adrian Bonner's residence to check on him. Adrian Bonner recently was involved in a bowling alley robbery case, but the case was dropped. He was looking to sue for a lot of money. I think it was $145,000. I think it was, but I don't know whatever happened to that. But this guy he's been seen on social media with guns and all type of violence. He's just a violent guy to me. He seems very violent. He seems very, very violent. And someone needs to get him in some counseling. The guy is a very, very great talent. He's very talented. And it seems like he has some things going on mentally right now. And it's making him seem violent. He seems very violent. I don't follow the guy's career. I haven't seen him fight one fight. But from seeing stats, highlights, all that type of stuff, he seems to be great. He's a champion. So he just needs to get together. Maybe they need to get him in some counseling and get his head together. Maybe he's going through some things personally that we don't know about, we can't see. So they need to get him in some counseling, those close friends and family, and really, really need to help this guy out. Like I said, he posted suicide threats saying that he's tired of being here, say he's ready to go home, saying he's going to kill himself. So that's not good news for anyone. No one needs to be in that state of mind of saying killing themselves. So they need to really get this guy some help. Moving on, Gremlin. News out of Gremlin. Gremlin and Coach Broderick Forbes. They're talking new contract talk. Forbes has won 12 games since the start of 2015. He was hired back in 2013 on a 3-year contract. That contract will expire this December 2016. On that contract, Forbes now earns $190,000 annually. That is part of the 3-year contract. Like I said, no new numbers has been released saying the amount of this new contract. So no numbers have been released yet involving his new contract. We will be following that story to see. We will report if they release numbers. We will report that to you. So that is good for him. He's been winning games over there. He's proven that he's a good leader and can coach a football team. So big ups to him. I love to see new coaches doing good things. Like I said, he's getting a new contract. Numbers haven't been released. The contract he's under now, he's earning $190,000 annually. So that's great. That's a lot of money, $109,000. That's a lot of money in itself. But to be considering getting more is great. Moving to LSU, news out of LSU. Leonard Fournette is still not 100%, and he will not play this weekend in the game against Southern Miss. Coach Orgeron reported. He said he wants him 100%. I'm guessing he's looking towards the future, having him 100% going into the NFL stretch. Because coming off this Southern Miss game, they will be going to the NFL. I said NFL. SEC stretch. They'll be going to an SEC stretch. You know, the SEC is pretty much like the NFL. So that's where the mix-up came in. So they'll be going into SEC stretch. They will after the Southern Miss, they will have Ole Miss, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas A&M as their last finishing off the season with Texas A&M. So that will be a hard, tough road they will be taking coming off that Southern Miss game. So they will need Leonard Fournette, in my opinion, to win a couple of these games. So we will see how he progresses. Maybe he will be ready in 2 weeks. So we will be following that, and we'll give you those injury updates. More news out of Florida. Good news, actually, out of Florida. Luke Del Rio is back as the starter. You know, he was injured in the game versus North Texas with a knee injury. He is back, ready to take over his starting position. That will be key. There is perfect timing. This is key timing for their SEC stretch also. As you see this weekend, they will be coming in facing Missouri. After that, they have Georgia, then Arkansas, South Carolina, and then capping off their season with Florida State as a rival game. So that's key timing. Luke Del Rio is back as their starter, as he was the starter coming into the season. Like I said, he had a knee injury in the game versus North Texas. So we will see how he impacts the game going into this. Coach McElwain did report that Luke Del Rio was expecting to start the LSU game, but that game was postponed. They're still trying to see how to reschedule that game. So he was expecting to come in and start on last week. So he should be 100% if they was expecting to start him last week. He should be 100% coming into this game. So that's good news for Florida Gators program and their fan base. McElwain did say that this will be a hard, tough stretch for them. They will be switching their defensive front to kind of confuse Missouri. So they will be making some game planning changes, how they approach on the defensive side of the ball. So moving on to Tennessee, a 5-star freshman receiver leaves Tennessee program. Preston Williams. Bush Jones mentioned this situation last night on Vol's Call radio show. Preston Williams, like I said, was a 5-star freshman receiver coming out of high school. He's 6'4", 209 pounds. Was expected to do big things at Tennessee coming into his freshman year, but reports say that he was having a hard time living up to Bush Jones' expectations. He wasn't there yet. Bush Jones was heard on the Vols Call radio show expressing how he was very impressed with these freshman receivers coming into the season, saying that they're not showing any frustration with not getting that much playing time. And then this happened. So he was doing a good job at hiding it, but he is looking to transfer from Tennessee. So good luck to him to wherever he land and finds success. Hopefully he finds success, and maybe he can go to a junior college and transfer back to a 4-year school. As an Alabama fan, we would love to have him at Alabama. So that is that news out of Tennessee. They are losing a big time recruit, 5-star recruit freshman coming out of high school. And that is never good because, he could have turned into a big time playmaker coming into the season. So that's that. Remember to listen to us every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. as you are now. Monday through Friday, Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Time on speaker.com/TST Radio. We air live every day, like I said, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Sundays at 1 p.m. Follow all of our social media at True Sports Talk Radio on Facebook, at True Sports Talk on Twitter. I would like to announce on Sunday we are going to have my guy Kevin Lacey stop by the studio for a quick interview. He will give some insights on his successful senior career at Tuskegee University. So be on the lookout for that. To remind you, if you're a Troy Trojan fan, on yesterday we had my guy Alfonso Johnson call in and give us a brief update of Troy Trojan football. So if you are interested in Troy Trojan football, go check out our show on yesterday. He gave us a lot of insight, a great insight, may I add. So go and check that out if you're a Troy Trojans fan. That is my time for the day. I am your host, Marcus Johnson. Thank you for tuning in. I love all of you guys' support. As of yesterday, we have hit over 1,000 plays on our radio station. So thank you for all of your support. It is very appreciated. That's my time for today. I'm Marcus Johnson. You are listening to TST Radio. Thank you.